Now, usually, I try to make videos that inspire you to travel or chase your dreams, and I'd much rather you watch those. But I do realize that a lot of times chasing your dreams end up becoming a business. So I thought I'd lend a helping hand, or two.
All right, guys, now we get to talk about financial leverage, and it is absolutely one of the pillars of finance. Why is it? Because it's leverage just basically talks about equity versus debt. It's that simple. How much debt are we carrying? How much debt are we using to run our business? Now, what is the good and bad of it? The good of it is that if you are very intelligent and you're using borrowed money to run your business, well, you're magnifying the reward. But if you're bad at doing your job, well, I shouldn't say bad. If you make mistakes, leverage is unforgiving. All right, you're taking a lot more risk. So we're just going to look at a quick example to understand financial leverage. All right, really quickly and really simply again, financial leverage is all about the amount of debt that a company carries. You don't have to confuse yourself. So let's take, for example, that we have found a magic investment. So we'll just say magic investment. And this magic investment, we know it's cost us $50,000 to get into it. And if we put $50,000 in there, after a year, I'm being ridiculous, we're going to get another $50,000 out of it. So this is the magic investment. All of it here is worth $50,000. We have to pay $50,000 to get into this investment. So we have two choices. We can either use our own money to purchase or get into this investment, or we can use borrowed money. So let's take a look at the effect if we use our own money to get into this investment. All right. So we know in our bank account we have $50,000. All right. I'm going to give you two scenarios, and in both scenarios we have $50,000. So knowing in our minds, doing our research, that this investment is going to yield us another extra $50,000, we can put all of this $50,000 into the investment. So we owe no money. Okay. So as a result, once we get the yield of the investment, we're going to collect the extra $50,000. All right, we don't have to get really too deep into it. So it's that simple. We put $50,000 into it. At the end of the year, we're going to get another $50,000 out of it. And hopefully, year after year, we continue to collect that extra $50,000. But what happens if we get a chance to borrow to get into the investment? So we have that one investment. Let's say there are 5 others like it. We got 1, 2, same exact investment. We just found 5 that are just like it. And again, we only have this same $50,000 to start with, but we know for a fact this investment is going to yield us an extra $50,000. What can we do? What we would do is actually use our leverage. We'd borrow some money because we know these investments are guaranteed. So we have two choices. Either we borrow $50,000 5 times, or the bank is going to say, you know what? This is risky. You put in $10,000 for each investment. I'll give you $40,000 for the rest of it. So now we're going to see what the risk and reward looks like. So we're going to be able to visualize it. All right. So the bank says you put in $10,000 for each of these investments. So that's our own money. So we split that $50,000 that we have into 5. And we say, all right, for the first investment, we'll put 10. Second investment, we'll put 10. Third investment, we'll put 10. Fourth investment, we'll put 10. Fifth investment, we'll put 10. And then the bank is going to cover the rest for us. Obviously, we're going to have to pay interest, but we're not worried because whatever interest they charge us, we know at the end of the year, each of these investments are going to yield us $50,000 every year. Okay, this is clearly make-believe because if this existed, I would not be making videos right now. Okay, so what happens at the end of the year? So this is us using leverage. Here we didn't use leverage. We only had $50,000 and we could only get into one investment. So we collected $50,000 at the end of that one investment. Here we're using leverage. and we're able to take the 50,000 we have and split it into 5. So what do we do? At the end of the year, let's use black for this one actually. We're going to collect 50,000 from the first one, 50,000 from the second. Oh, I have to write this over and over. I mean, you get the point, but I still have to do it. What am I going to say while I'm writing? I guess I'm just going to say what it is I'm saying right now, and then I'll be done. Perfect. So we put in, and just imagine again, year after year, you continue to collect $50,000 from this original investment. See how leverage works? Now we get to collect $50,000 5 times every year as a result of only putting in this same $50,000. So here we use no leverage, and at the end of the year, we only get a chance to collect $50,000 once. But when we use some leverage, we get to collect $250,000 at the end of the year, and all we did was put in the same amount. Okay, so here we collect using leverage. With leverage, we collect $250,000. So now you understand why it's very, very tempting for people to use borrowed money to run their business. Because yes, you pay your interest, but it's a lot cheaper to pay interest than to use all of your equity. Well, I should say here, all of your equity to run your business in a lot of cases. Okay? So what is the flip side of this? So all this red, right? You still have to look at it. It's money you owe. If these investments fail, here, if this investment fails, well, if it succeeds, you know you collect $50,000. If it fails, all you did was lose the $50,000. Well, I shouldn't say all with the nonchalant attitude, but you lost $50,000 that you put in. You lost all your own money. If all of these investments go bad, they go bust, you lose all the $50,000 that you used as a base to support your loan. You lose all of that, but at the same time, you're still going to owe the money you borrowed. So we borrowed, in each instance here, $40,000 for each investment, and we're going to say times 5. So you're on the hook now. Not only did you lose your $50,000, but you owe if everything goes bad. So bad. I'll make a frowny face. We're stuck owing $200,000. So this is why leverage magnifies risk, because you can, if things don't go your way, you can be on the hook for $200,000. And if things do go your way, you can be rewarded $250,000 as a result of using that same $50,000 to start. Okay? So that's the magic of leverage. This is all leverage is about. Using borrowed money to run your business, to make investments. Okay, so I really want you to understand that leverage is not a complicated process. It's not a complicated thing for you to get your mind around. It's just about using borrowed money to run your business, but at the same time, you're magnifying your chances of reward. As we've seen, we get to collect more money, but you're also magnifying your risk. So in the next video, we're going to look at more reasons why you may want to lean towards leverage. And then you may start to see, okay, I get it now. I get why the economy was in such trouble. I get why these bankers were doing the things they were doing, because it's very enticing. I'm not saying we forgive them, but we have to be able to understand the thought process of why people are willing to risk so much. All right, guys, so hopefully you're able to see here using leverage. All right, so financial leverage, again, we understand is basically just managing your debt and your equity. How much debt am I going to carry? Now we're going to see why on the income statement, on the next video, I should say, on the income statement, why you may want to still use leverage, even though the risk is much worse.
Thank you so much for watching. Turning a dream into a reality usually ends up becoming your business. That is why we have the Helping Hands videos. Subscribe, like, and feel free to leave a comment below. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter and Instagram. Fans of Kindness, our Facebook page, is also waiting for you. See you in the next video. Until then, be your best and never stop learning.